What's up guys, Darkdally here, and today I'm continuing my series on Ghost Recon Wildlands semi-auto sniper rifles in Tier 1 mode. Let's see, I did the Mark 14, I did the SR25, today we are doing the G28. Actually, I'm kind of doing this from a viewer request. I'll just put this up right here. Gavin Steinkamp says, "You give really good info every time. I've been using your convoy strategy ever since you posted it. It works amazing. Thanks, man. May I ask a favor," he says. "Could you please do a comparison between the SR25 and the G28? I've been having a hard time trying to figure out which one I want. I would like your input on it, please, and thank you." You're welcome, man. Okay, let's do that right now. Now, I know I get a lot of requests, and sometimes I fulfill them randomly. I got this today, and it just seemed like the right time because I am kind of wanting to do this semi-auto sniper thing. So today I got the G28 right here. I've just got it, let's see, I don't even know how I have it modified. Let's go look at it. And I'm going to compare it to the SR25. I'll do that for you, Gavin. Thank you so much for commenting. Let's check out what I've got on my G28. I'm actually not even sure how I have it modified. I'm not sure this is the right way to modify it, so let's reset all the parts. Let's reset all the parts on it, and as long as we're here, let's see if we can level it up any. Oh, we got a couple. Okay, we get it up to level 4. Okay, so we got some levels on it. We're gonna go check this out, and we're gonna compare it to the SR25. Okay, so probably the first thing we're gonna want to do before we even go testing it, I've already tested the bullet drop of all the sniper rifles. I'm going to go ahead and post that image on screen right now, just in case you missed that series, and also a link to that series will be in the description of this video. So you see where the G28 ranks as far as bullet drop, both modified and unmodified. You can see where it ranks. Let's go ahead. Let's optimize it as far as at least that goes. We want it accurate, right? So now scope-wise, scopes actually don't matter. Now the G28, one thing about it, I think it actually works best with the G28 scope, and I don't say that for no reason. There's actually a very good reason I say that, and I will get into that in a moment here. Let's go ahead and increase our magazine size. Really, the only thing that's going to affect is reload time, and that's really not a big deal, especially for a semi-auto sniper. Let's leave the underbarrel blank for now on the rail. Nope. Let's go ahead and put a rangefinder on it, and I'll tell you why we're doing all this in one moment here. Let's put a long barrel. And let's actually leave it unsuppressed because we are running tier mode. I'm currently tier 14. We kind of want all the power we can get. We want all the stealth we can get too, but that's why I have a suppressed assault rifle in the other hand, right? Okay, so this is kind of the optimal kind of build we would want for this. Now, let me explain to you why I chose the G28 scope and why I insist upon the rangefinder. The G28, as you can see from the bullet drop image I showed before, has the most bullet drop of all the assault rifles. So compare it to the SR25, to answer your question, Gavin. To compare it to the SR25, bullet drop wise, it's vast. Now, does that matter? And I always say this. You guys know I always say this if you watch my videos. No, it does not matter. It's just how much you have to adjust for it, right? The reason I'm using the G28 scope is because this particular scope, let's zoom in on it here. Now it has two, you hit the red dot up here, you get the scope down here, right? It's pretty common knowledge by now that it's zeroed on this upper scope. So when you shoot it, watch when I shoot this, watch where the bullet hole appears. See, it appears at the top of the crosshair. It appears above the crosshair. That's because, okay, if my teammates weren't bumping into me. All right, guys, you're on timeout. Go over there. Let's do this one more time. Notice how it's not centered on the crosshair. It's centered above the crosshair. If we swap to the red dot sight, you see it's centered on the red dot. That's why I chose. The reason I choose the G28 scope for the G28 rifle is not for the. It's not for the poetics of having the rifle and the scope with the same name. Now, it's because the G28 scope shoots a little bit high and the G28 rifle shoots a little bit low. Now, you're going to have to learn a new pattern of bullet drop with this. You know, just go test it out at range. I may just make a video on that. This is a very popular combination, by the way. A lot of people really like the G28 rifle with the G28 scope. Now, as far as other attachments, for instance, underbarrel, I didn't touch that yet. We'll get there. Oh, that's also why I chose the rangefinder, by the way. The rangefinder and the long barrel are going to increase. They're going to give you the maximum accuracy you can get at range, and you really need it with this rifle because to be quite honest, this sniper rifle, this G28 sniper rifle, has pretty damn close to the same bullet drop as this L85 I have on my back. And, well, it is what it is. You adjust for it, right? We'll hit the underbarrel in a second. First, let's go here and let's compare, again, answering the viewer request. Let's go ahead and compare this, just compare it straight across to the SR25. Now, they do show about the same damage. Now, of course, one has been increased 12 more times in tier mode than the other one. But, so you could say, hey, look how much base damage the G28 does. Okay, we'll look into that. Now, the G28 is going to have a much higher rate of, much higher rate of fire. Notice the rate of fire is slightly higher. Trust me, it has a way higher rate of fire. That's kind of why I kind of stuttered for a second on the damage, because these stats don't mean a whole lot. What really matters is what you test. We're not looking at noise reduction. Who cares about that? Handling, I don't think matters at all with sniper rifles. I really don't think range matters, and accuracy doesn't matter unless you're firing a really fast shot group. So there's that, you know, I'll give you that right now. Penetration, that much penetration really doesn't matter, because every sniper rifle has built into it the kind of damage it's going to do. Like, for instance, we all know the HTI can pretty much instantly take out any vehicle, right? It's built into the rifle. You can take an MSR, you can level it up to the same level, the same damage, and damn near the same penetration as the HTI. I mean, within a hair, but it'll never down vehicles the same way. And it's the same way with bullet drop. It's the same way with a lot of these stats. A lot of them are just built into the rifle. So we just simply need to test the rifle. Let's check out this. Let's check out this rate of fire, and let's compare it directly to the SR25. Because here's the thing with SR25, guys. I am comparing these via viewer request, of course. The SR25 has a very slow rate of fire. It probably, in fact, I'm going to say right here, it has the slowest rate of fire for any semi-auto. Here. Now, that's a lot of kick. Notice all that recoil? Yeah, but who actually fires a sniper rifle like that? No one fires a sniper rifle like that. I'm just saying, let's go ahead and let's just grab it in the other hand, actually, so I can compare them side by side. Let's go ahead and grab the SR25, which I have right here. It is a beauty. I love this. I love this weapon because it's an AR-15/AR-10 based weapon, and I'm a big fan of that frame. Let's go ahead and yeah, that's its maximum rate of fire compared to the G28. There's a huge difference. So our big difference right here is rate of fire. Now, this video is not only comparing these two, it's also testing out the G28. Let's go find some vehicles and let's see what we can do. Okay, so I guess one logical thing we could do, we have these two snipers here. Let's test damage on a vehicle. Now, this is not representative of what they would do to a convoy vehicle. These are my own vehicles. I have all the skills and medals maxed, so that means I have maximum shield protection on my own vehicles. So a normal convoy vehicle will take less. So I just want to, I just want to reinforce. This does not reflect how many bullets these weapons would take to down a convoy vehicle. I just want to compare them to one another. Let's just see. They're both unsuppressed. Here we have where we're using the G28 first. Let's see how many shots it takes to take down this Hummer from the front. Quite a few. There we go. Looks like it took 21 or 22. I'll just round it off because sometimes I fuck up. So we'll say 21 or 22 is how many rounds it took. Now let's try with the SR25. I summoned another one of these. I'll be damned if it didn't summon it all the way on the other side of this fucking river. Let's pull up the SR25. We're just comparing straight vehicle damage. Of course, there's a huge difference in fire rate. I just want to, I want to do a good, thorough comparison. So let's go ahead. Let's pull out the SR25. Let's do the same shot to the front of the grill right here. And apparently we have some guys nearby. Oh, so, okay, that only took 8 shots. So, okay, so vehicle damage-wise, SR25 is your wise choice. The problem is, let's see, it took about... about a third as many shots, right? But it fires about a third as fast, so it's kind of an even trade-off there. Now, we've already seen the bullet drop. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to compare that anyway. Now, while I run to my favorite rifle range here in Villa Verde City, you may be asking, why am I doing bullet drop? Because I've already compared these. In fact, I showed you the image earlier. Well, there's a very good reason I'm doing this. The G28, yes, it does have much more bullet drop than the SR25, but I was using the same scope for both. I was using, to do an objective test, I was using the same T5XI scope for all the rifles. Now, that doesn't mean it's the best scope for every rifle. What I want to do here is I want to test these rifles against each other with the parts that benefit each one the most. And what that means is, in my opinion, using the T5XI scope for the SR25 and using the G28 scope for the G28. Now, how does that affect bullet drop, you might ask? Of course, a scope does not affect bullet drop. No, a scope does not affect bullet drop, but the scope appears how the target is fired upon, and it does not affect bullet drop, but it kind of does, if you see what I mean. What I mean is, with the G28 scope, it's going to perceive targets differently than the T5XI, and you will see here. Now, you saw in my original image how much lower the G28 dropped on this exact wall right here at 350 meters than the SR25. Today, what we're going to do is I'm going to use the G28 scope on the G28 and the T5XI on the SR25, and I'm going to show you there's a huge fucking difference, okay? The G28 is not bad. In fact, it's a pretty damn good rifle. We're going to put a mark on this wall right here where we always do, and here we should be at 350 meters. Yes, we are exactly. That is perfect. Now, let's make sure we have our rifles modified comparably. Right now, they're using the same angled grip. They both have rangefinders, long barrels, stock muzzles. Let's go ahead. Let's just leave them stock muzzles. Okay. I like stock muzzle, even over compensator, because sometimes you want the ability to put on a suppressor if you have to. So that's why I like to leave my sniper rifle muzzles stock. Just let's go check out the SR25 and make sure it has the same specs. Let's go pull it up. Let's check out its parts. All right, we got the same underbarrel, we got rangefinder, we got the longest barrel we can have, stock muzzle. We got all the same stuff here. The difference is we have different scopes and we have different rifles. Now, you saw the results when I did this same bullet drop test at 350 meters. Here's the difference. Again, the difference is I was using a T5XI scope on both rifles. The thing is, different rifles sometimes want different scopes. Let's see, let me show you what I mean right now. Let's go ahead, let's grab the SR25 out, let's fire it first. This is the exact same as I did in my sniper rifle bullet drop series. Okay, let's go see where that hit. Now we are doing this at nighttime, so let's pull up some night vision here and we'll get us a nice, good, clear view of the wall. Okay, right there. So that's 1, 2, 3, about the middle of the fourth brick down from the top is where the SR25 hit. Now, I actually don't know what's going to happen. I have not rehearsed this, guys. I honestly don't know. So let's see where the SR25 hits. Let's swap out to it. We're using a different scope, and here's the difference. The SR25 has a 6x scope, and this is a 5x scope. That actually makes a difference. Not to mention the fact that the G28 scope fires above where it says it's going to fire. Now, it doesn't change bullet drop, but it changes the perception of bullet drop, and really that's all that matters. Am I right? All that matters is where you're aiming and where you hit. It doesn't matter how the bullet gets there. I say that because I'm expecting this to actually be pretty comparable. And it's dead on. Look at him. I know my screen's a little fuzzy because of the night vision, but you can see they're actually hit dead on. How about that? Now, you'll recall in the screenshot I showed you at the beginning, the G28 hit the very bottom of the wall. That's right. Guys, that's what difference a scope makes. Again, the scope does not affect bullet drop. It just affects your perception of where the bullet's going to drop. That's why if you use a G28 rifle, you should use the G28 scope. A lot of people use these in conjunction, and I'm not sure they know why they do. They just know it feels better. Well, guys, that's why it feels better. So to compare these two, I'm going to have to say this, guys. Here's what I'm going to say in my conclusion of the SR25 to G28 comparison, as well as my evaluation of the G28 rifle in general. I'm going to say this. If you're using a semi-auto sniper rifle, you're probably mostly engaging personnel and not vehicles anyway, because if you were engaging vehicles, you would be using a heavier sniper rifle. So probably your main concern probably is personnel. Again, you saw how many bullets this thing took to take out one of my trucks. Of course, that was my truck, but still, right, there you have it. Now, that said, since if you're using a semi-auto rifle for anti-personnel, here we have the G28, which has about a 2/3 or so, it seemed to me, faster fire rate than the SR25. Now, not in the stats. I know in the stats it was slightly higher. Don't listen to that. Has a much, much higher fire rate. It does do much less vehicle damage, but again, that's just a built-in stat. When you look at the accuracy over range, the rate of fire you get, and everything else that's included, honestly, let's check these out here in the menu. It comes a lot down to aesthetics and what do you like. Now, let me tell you, I like the SR25 because I served in the military, as many of you know. So I'm just a big fan of the AR-15 frame. This weapon was designed by Eugene Stoner as a mix between the AR-10 and AR-15 frames, so that to me means a lot. I just like the origin of the weapon, I like the feel of it. But it does fire very slow. So I do kind of prefer this weapon though, because of the frame it's built upon. Now when we look at the G28, here we have a rifle, and again, a lot of this does kind of depend on looks. Which one do you think looks better? I mean, I know it sounds stupid, but listen to me guys, they're pretty comparable. And even their bullet drop matched up with the correct scope. So use the G28 with the G28 scope. Remember that because you're using a semi-auto sniper rifle, you do want to use it for anti-personnel. This is not an anti-material rifle. But damn, this thing is accurate, and god damn, this thing fires fast. Guys, that's my review of the G28 and my comparison to the SR25. Thank you, Gavin, for the question. Thank you, everyone, so much for watching. Guys, until next time, I'm Darkdally. I will see you guys in the next one.